I just want to start out how blessed me and my wife are to be here with you guys, and how much we have truly come to love each and every one of you. I'm going to give my testimony tonight. I've never given a testimony, so I've asked God just to give me the wisdom and the glory and just speak through me. Tonight I want to open up with the verse that really touched me, and this was given to me my very first Bible study I came to. I think it was Jan was handing these out. And mine says, "Dear children," I'm sorry, "You, dear children, are from God and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world." And that's from 1 John 4:4. I was born in 1972. I grew up in a pretty common house. I had a mother, I had a father. My father was my stepfather. I never knew my biological father. Never had a day in my life. Never sent me a birthday card. Never really knew him, and it really tore at me when I was younger, you know, because I always wondered, like, why is my last name different than my sister's? And then my dad and my mom, why do I have a different last name? But I had a great dad. My dad's name is James Overocker. He's resting up in heaven right now, looking down on me, probably with a big old grin on his face. But he was my father. God sent that man in my life, and I am so grateful for it. So I had a pretty good, normal life growing up. We went to church every Sunday. I didn't like church, just like a lot of kids don't like church. My mom, God bless her, I was just telling her the other day, I was talking to her, you know, now that I found Jesus and now that I'm actually realizing that it's not about me anymore, it's about him. And I felt kind of bad because I used to always tell my mom that I didn't like to go to church, and the church, you know, was this and that, and I ran from church when I, you know, finally turned like 13 or 14 years old. And I was thinking about how my mom used to drive around our neighborhood, and she would pick up all the neighborhood kids. Like the parents didn't come, but she always made sure the kids came. That's awesome. I mean, just, man, I was able to tell her how awesome that is. You know, just the other day, you know, thank you, Mom. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for planting that seed. Because let me tell you, folks, I ran. I ran from Jesus. As soon as I was old enough not to go to church, that was it. I was gone. And I never really turned back. So, not for a long time anyway. I ended up meeting my wife, Jennifer, in high school. She lived a couple of houses down from me, and I thank God every day for sending that woman in my life. She is my rock. She corrects me. She keeps me in line. She is so very special. And I'm just so blessed to have her in my life. Anyway, we got together and we ended up having some kids. And we had 2 kids, and I was, you know, just working at a lumber yard and doing whatever I could to get through, and ended up losing that job, and just things got real bad, and I got into drugs and started selling drugs and doing drugs, and just was in a really bad place. And that went on for a couple years, and me and Jenny kind of split up for a while because she was tired of my crap, and who could blame her? She came back to me one day and she said, "Hey, we got 2 children together. Let's do something. Let's make this thing work. If you're willing to, I'm willing to." Man, what a strong woman to be able to do that, come back and accept a bum like me, because I was a bum. I mean, I was a straight hoodlum. Anyway, so we fast forward a little bit. I woke up one morning and I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw. I was a 130-pound skinny kid looking like I had AIDS or something. I mean, I looked terrible. And I think that's when God said, "Hey, you need to do something. You need to get out of here. You need to do something. You got a wife, you got 2 kids you got to take care of." So I joined the Army. And I joined the Army, and it fit like a glove, man. I could soldier. You know, I was a 63 Hotel, which is a diesel mechanic. I couldn't turn a wrench to save my life, but I could soldier. I knew the regulations inside and out, and I was born to be a leader. I mean, it was just natural for me. The soldiers all responded to me. I did 20 years in the Army, and 17 of those years I wore stripes. I was a non-commissioned officer, and that's what I did. I led soldiers. I led them into battle. I led them in exercises. I mean, they were just like my kids, you know. And sadly enough, it went like this: Army, then Army, then my family, then God. That's kind of how that order was for me. Then it wasn't God first like it should have been. But anyway, my first deployment is when I found Jesus again. I was going out in sector a lot. I was seeing a lot of action, a lot of death, a lot of just craziness. And I remember I picked up this book called More Than a Carpenter by Josh McDowell. It's an awesome book if you've never read it. And it basically just lays out all the evidence that Jesus is who he said he is. You know, this guy was an atheist, and he went into it trying to figure out, is this real or not? And he finds out it is real. And he pretty much says, hey, either he's a liar, a lunatic, or he's the Lord. Those are the only three options he gives us. Is he a liar? Well, Jesus never lied, so that's pretty obvious. Was he a lunatic? Well, he didn't run around like a chicken with his head cut off, right? I mean, he wasn't just babbling on and on. So he must be the Lord. And he is. And that got me back into my religion. And a song called Rescue Story by Zach Williams, it always brings me back to that, because I was hit with an IED in 2005. If you don't know what an IED is, it's an improvised explosive device. I was in my Humvee. We were driving under an underpass. I was actually on the radio. The bomb went off, and it actually lifted my Humvee up. So when I was talking, I was looking at the road. The next thing I know, I was looking at the sky. It lifted our whole Humvee up and just slammed us back down. My gunner, who was on the 50 cal, he took some shrapnel to the face, but he was all right. And we got out of there. And that song says, you fought your battles, or my battles for me, in that song. And that's what really hit me, because he was with me. Even though I ran from him, he was always there. And I had the church. Jenny was going to church up at Fort Drum then, and I know all of them prayed and everything. I just knew God was looking after me. So I found Jesus there for a while, and then I ran away from him. I went on another deployment, 2007 to 2009. That was pretty well. And then I went 2010 to 2011. I had two of my NCOs that were killed in a rocket attack on our fob while we were sleeping. And I don't know what it was, man. I was like right back in a dark place again. I was doing bad stuff, and I thought now looking back at myself, I almost feel like a fraud. It was like I was so self-serving. Like, I'm an Audie Murphy member. I'm the first sergeant. I'm this. I'm that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I would set my goals, but it's always about me. It was never about God. It was never about my family. Of course it was about my family because I was taking care of them, I just wasn't putting them first. I wasn't putting them like where I should have had them at. So getting back to this passage here, you, dear children, are from God and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. What's going on in our world today, folks, is just scary. I mean, there's no other word for it. Our schools are compromised, our government is compromised, our hospitals are compromised, our court systems are compromised. I mean, everything is upside down. We have evil being worshipped. It's like good is bad and bad is good. And Jesus tells us when that stuff starts to happen, you need to be paying attention. And that's what brought me back to this church, was this right here. Because I could see all the madness going on. I'm like, man, I need to get right, man. Like, we need to get right. I need to get back to Jesus. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, for the first time in my life, and I've had all kinds of scary moments in my life and thought I wasn't scared, but I really was scared. Today, I'm not scared to die because I know where I'm going. And there's no better feeling than that. There is no better feeling than knowing that this is just a temporary little holdover, and we're going to go home, and we're all going to be together, and it's just so amazing. And I want to close with this passage here. It's from Ephesians 2:8 And it says, "For it is by grace that you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourself. It is a gift from God." God seeks us. All we have to do is just go to him. It's just that simple. Anyway, I don't want to keep carrying on. I just want to say I love each and every one of you. I'm so happy that me and my wife were able to find this church, and that we have people that are putting Jesus first, and that's what we need to do. So God bless you, and thanks for listening.